Yeah, well,
Ready.
Welcome, this is February 10th, 2026, Estes Park School District, R3 Board of Education, regular meeting. It is now 3:30 p.m. This meeting is called to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Aaron, please conduct the board roll call.
Director Furry,
Here.
Director Kendall,
Here.
Director Shockett,
Here.
Director Widerski,
Here.
Director West.
Here. Moving on to approval agenda, board members have an agenda before you. At this time, I'll take any comments or amendments to the current agenda. Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the current agenda?
I move we approve the current agenda.
Second.
We have a motion second. Aaron, please conduct a board roll call.
Director Furry,
Aye.
Director Kendall,
Aye.
Director Shockett,
Aye.
Director Widerski,
Aye.
Director West.
Aye.
Ayes carry the vote. Agenda is approved. Moving on to agenda item 2, discussion items. 2.1, superintendent search, advertising and background checks. At our last meeting, there was multiple questions about the background checks and advertising, and I don't have all those answers. Kim Morris has those answers. So instead of going back and forth, I just invited Kim to participate in the meeting. So Kim, they were asking about advertising. What should we have, like suggestions from advertising? HYA and Brian, they presented like a basic check, a basic check for what they are including in advertising. So they had more items for that, CASB case, Chalkbeat, all of that. And then they also discussed, Brian discussed background checks, and they have a more extensive one, and I knew we did one as well, so I was hoping we could collaborate on that. So I'll turn it over to you.
Advertising, typically we do Case and a couple other platforms. Which I do not believe when I preview your base package were in there, but your base package is complete and pretty exclusive, so I think that's great. I would also just advertise in Case and CASB.
Okay, we definitely will advertise in CASB.
Yeah.
Because we're a partner with them. And then, do you have the case, do you already advertise with them?
I do.
Okay, so you already have the membership.
Correct.
Okay, great. So we would just ask you to, when we get this thing completed and
Okay.
it would go and you would put it on there. The only other one I talked about, which has become quite popular with superintendent, assistant superintendent, is Chalkbeat. I don't know if that's a popular one up here. It's big on the Front Range. Yeah.
I get their newsletters every other day
Yeah.
or daily. As far as advertising, when I looked it up, it was pretty costly for a 30-day period.
Like $200 for 30 days.
30 days, so.
And I don't think it doesn't necessarily get you any more coverage. It's just, it would be more localized. But I think that if you're in Case and CASB, that's gonna cover anybody who is looking in Chalkbeat as well. Plus, just the presence of HYA and the number of people that hit our website and people that are looking for positions nationally, it's significant, so, yeah.
I'm with that. Your base package and
And
you give me the.
you weren't
posting.
here, but I don't recommend unless you were like a Chicago or a Milwaukee, those big packages for AASA and all of those, I don't think you get the return on investment. So.
I would agree with that. So yeah, I'm good with posting the
Okay.
case.
Case, CASB and base package.
Mhm.
Okay, great.
And in case, because of our membership, does that have a cost to it or?
It does, I pay an annual membership.
Okay, that's it. There's no addition to do it. You just
No,
posting it on.
no.
Okay.
It's an annual charge and then I post teacher positions, any kind of positions that we need out there.
And we will post it at CASB. Dave works part-time for CASB, so he'll make sure that it gets up on the
Great,
CASB website.
great.
You guys are members of CASB anyway, so it's free for member districts.
Background checks. When I believe the decision's made. I run a basic background check with fingerprints, FBI, and workers' comp. Just
Yep.
become involved in any existing claims that the person might be involved in. Other than that, that's all I do.
Yeah.
I don't do financial, just fingerprint and
And I think that,
see.
it depends on who your finalist is. I think if we have a sitting superintendent from somewhere in Colorado, and we're able to do some pretty deep due diligence ourselves, which we do. I think that, the FBI check is fine.
Yeah.
You know, fingerprinting and all that. If it's someone from out of state, someone who, we will again try to get as much as we possibly can. But some of these the background checks, they will check credentials as well, and college degrees. I will tell you that, a firm, not HYA, the applicant lied about college degrees, so definitely had a bachelor's degree, but did not have a master's or a PhD. And did not qualify for even a principal's license, and that person was actually a finalist. And it didn't come out until the end, and so that was a real problem, so. So with at least the sole finalist, when the board gets that far along, you know, if it's someone from out of state and someone who we don't know enough about, I would recommend the board would pursue, you know, the deep background check that checks financials, checks social media, checks college degrees and transcripts and those kinds of things.
Right, right,
So,
which is usually something that we require in an applicant's package,
mhm,
teacher
right,
mostly. Transcripts, official transcripts, either sent to me via the college
mhm,
encrypted or in the mail
right,
with the seal.
Yeah.
So definitely we would want that and the credentials to go along with it, you know, official transcripts. So.
and the board can act on that now or later.
Yeah, we can
It's,
see who our finalists are.
and then have that conversation again.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair.
Any other questions? No?
No. Okay.
All right, that's it. Thanks, Kim.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you, I'm sure.
And if you have any questions, you have my information, so,
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, Kim.
yeah, lock and load.
It was shared. All right, moving on to agenda item 2.2, superintendent search job posting. I wanted to bring this back. Brian was kind enough to take all of the input that he received and add it back out to the job posting. So I just want to make sure everyone had final eyes on it with the updates and that they were comfortable with the job posting as it has been presented this evening.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about like required and recommended qualifications
Sure.
in the job posting or not, and
Yeah.
what the strategy is?
So HYA's approach is because we believe so deeply in community engagement that we don't just, unless the board asks for it, put in characteristics and qualifications. And that does leave the door wide open for applicants, but most people know what the requirements are generally for superintendency. So we can do that, but it always feels a little bit disingenuous for us to put those qualifications, particularly the characteristics of what you're looking for in a superintendent, when we haven't had that community engagement yet, which is the focus groups, which is the survey. If we would have started the search in, let's say, September, October, and had that much time, and we had the focus groups done by, let's say, you know, the holiday break, we could have easily extracted all of those characteristics from the community and put them in the job description. And to be fair, you know, we can put some in there. I would recommend waiting until we get the job posting up and we have that profile report. Because when we have that leadership profile report that comes from this community, we do several things with that. We use that as a filter to screen candidates, and we also build interview questions based on what comes out of that community engagement process. So you may have a segment of the community that has a very specific interest in asking some certain questions about candidates, and we're going to bring that forward to you guys. Say, hey, this appeared multiple times in our focus groups, and this community has a concern and they have questions of these candidates. Would the board consider asking these kinds of questions? So our approach is get the posting out there and then use the leadership profile report as our screening device and also for us to build questions for the board when we get further down. The superintendency is a very unique position. And most applicants will know exactly what we're looking for. If you wanted to put something in there that you want, at least principalship experience or something like that, we can do that. But we can also screen for that later, because you will have principals that apply, maybe that were interested in being in a smaller district or whatever, so. So that's really up to you guys. I would recommend getting that posting out like tomorrow if we can. Does that kind of cover our conversation?
Yeah, so I mean, just so everyone's aware.
Yeah, we
The way it's written, it tells a really good story about who Estes Park is, who we are.
What we're focused on.
Correct, and then it's silent on what we are looking for in a superintendent. And so,
now we will have applicants call us and they'll say,
That's true.
what are they looking for? And we will say, we are going to publish that report and it's actually on the schedule. And we send it to all the applicants. We say, it's now available. Here's what we're looking for. And we will actually have people say, oh, wow, I don't really have that skill set. I'm gonna go ahead and withdraw, before they get any further in the process. So, but all the applicants know that if they're working with HYA, that we typically will have that profile report done, and that is critical for them continuing in the application process.
and looking at the schedule at the bottom of the posting, it shows them that, and they got like 10 days. They can see the report, and then they got 10 more days before it closes.
Yeah. The other thing on the job description is there's a highlighted section that is critical in that it leads all applicants back to the HYA website, and that's intentional. When we post this, whether it's tonight, tomorrow night, or the next day, that link is critical to be hot because we want applicants to be directed back to HYA where we have Frontline, which is an application system for them to use. So it takes them directly to an application that looks the job posting just like that with all the same exact verbiage, but then it has all of the HYA stuff. So you click here to fill out your resume or upload your information and all of that. So when that link gets populated, you'll be able to see exactly where it goes onto the HYA website. And I think that's the only thing that was left remaining on that job description that wasn't populated.
Yeah, it's true.
So I guess I should have told HR this as well. Wherever it gets posted, whether you put it on your website or whatever, we have to make sure that that link is live on there, that it's not a static link, that it doesn't go anywhere. Because we want to drive everyone to the HYA website to do the application process. It's not a big deal. It's just, we have had situations where candidates then will be emailing us all of their stuff. And it's got to go through Frontline, which is our HR process.
I think you've captured what the district's been, overall what our district is. I appreciate that the vision, mission, and belief statements are in there. I mean, it clearly states that combined with our highlights, it clearly states, I think, what we've been doing as a district over a number of years and our focus.
And I did reprioritize some of the top 4 that I think the board said, hey, these are our most important, just so they're at the top of the list.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think you captured it, this district well, Brian.
A lot of good stuff going on.
Any other questions, concerns? No, all right, we're gonna go on to agenda item 2.3, superintendent search schedule. Just everyone can take a look at the latest schedule and see if you have any concerns. The only thing I noticed, and I just wanted to bring that up, I noticed on the interview weekend is Easter weekend on that 4th of, I think it was the 4th of April.
Yes.
So just making sure no one had conflicts with that Saturday before Easter. Outside of that, our schedule.
And I will make a comment about that. So that Saturday works really good as far as the calendar goes, and it is Easter weekend. But remember, that is the slate. That is the slate of 6. And if they can't be here in person, which is fine,
Yeah.
we're able to do Zoom or Google Meet as well, for that first round, which is not uncommon, if people don't want to travel here, or if they are somewhere because their district's on spring break, whether it be Mexico or somewhere other nice, they can still Zoom in, and we can still do the interview on that Saturday. Easter obviously is on Sunday. So, but I do know lots of districts have, they align, their spring breaks with an Easter break as well. So. But I'm set to go on Saturday.
So what I'm hearing there is you don't think it'll be a candidate impact?
No. If it was the finalist weekend or a day in the district, that might be a little trickier, I think, because they're here for a couple of days. There's a lot going on in the community, and that would not be a good weekend for that. But and these names aren't released anyway. No one knows who they are, at that point, except for the board. That's an executive session.
Mhm.
So I think it'll be just fine. As long as you guys can all be present. Okay.
Everyone's still good for that weekend?
Yes, thank you.
Any other concerns with schedule?
Not a concern. We had talked previously about like a per diem of overlap between our superintendents. I assume that all comes in the like the negotiation phase of the contract.
Yes, and I think if you're talking about a transition of some sort.
Yes, exactly.
Really nice if the district, if you guys can start thinking about that. Because if we're able to hire by mid to late April and you name a sole finalist, and during the negotiations piece, let's say they have either vacation or personal time coming in their current role, is to work out some transition days. It's really nice. And I know, I actually spoke with Ruby at length today. She would really be interested in that sort of transition, just to get someone up to speed on all the initiatives that are going on. That would be really powerful. And so that typically is done at a per diem, whatever the board negotiates around their salary, converting that to a per diem, and then assigning that to how many days you want them in the district between the time they're hired and June 30. Contracts typically start July 1st. Great question.
I think everything is populated on the schedule.
It's populated. There's a couple in yellow still. Online survey. Are we good there? That
Yep.
is gonna go live.
Yep, we have been working behind the scenes with Erin and Stacy Ritchie. She's back of the house, and she does the surveys, so they're working out. I think we have all the accessibility issues worked out because of the House bill in Colorado. So I think those got ironed out today, and then I will be meeting with Erin tomorrow for an hour or so, just to go through the the focus group schedule around locations and making sure that it all seems to work, So not that you guys have any role or responsibility to be there or anything that day. We'll work all those details out. But right now they're assigned to the 26th, 27th, and 28th, which is a Thursday, Friday, and then a Saturday morning. So we'll work out all those details.
March or April?
February.
This is February, yeah. Yep, last 3 days in February. So.
That's the date, Frank, on your portal, that's the dates that are listed on there.
Yeah. What you can do, and of course, we will advertise this and it'll go out in all of the different ways that you guys typically communicate with your community. You can help too, because you know people. Just say, hey, make yourself available for, go look at the schedule, get to one of the focus groups. We need as much input as we possibly can. That will make the leadership report much more valuable, the more input that we have.
So how many people usually go, or how many people?
It's a mixed bag. When we did Gresham Barlow in Oregon, it was a much bigger district. But unfortunately, we had some of the sessions where no one showed up. And they were like, 6:00 PM at the high school. You would think, so the more we market and get it out there, I think we were more disappointed in the marketing piece, that it didn't get out to the right people. And then some of the groups had 25, 30, So it's a mixed bag.
Is there a limit or they're not?
No, not really. I think we have enough on the schedule. I think we have 13 or 14 different sessions on the schedule right now. And we'll talk about those to see if it'll work, if we have spaces for all of them, but
Right now, I pretty much have your draft
okay,
pretty much happy.
okay.
Pretty much.
And then the other thing, if the board says, hey, we got a complaint that someone didn't have access or something, it's like, they are the same questions that we asked in the survey. So it's not a problem. People can do that. If they don't like doing a survey, they can send us an email. They can call us and we'll take notes. I mean, there's lots of ways for people to get input. And so at the end of this process, we shouldn't have anyone in the community said that I was excluded. Everyone should have the opportunity if they want to take it.
Are you gonna put out a survey too, what they can take? Or they can go and what they can do on the survey?
Yeah,
Broadcast
I
it.
mean, it'll be a QR code and a link, depending on how they want to access it. But on your website, because of accessibility, we'll also say, if this doesn't work for you, there's a link in there for that as well, whatever you guys typically do.
Yeah, the
So,
accessibility team.
yeah,
Because there'll be a tab on our website
Yeah.
for a superintendent search. We talked about that and.
Yeah.
And I think Aaron,
You and I
working on
talked
that.
about, yeah.
Yeah,
and I don't know if when you send out email blasts to parents, either the QR code or the link can be right embedded in that. I don't know if that's a process you guys do here, but that's worked really well on whatever system that you broadcast to your community. Because then everyone has it in their inbox,
That's right.
whether they take it or not. The more the merrier.
The survey is translated into Spanish.
It is,
Aaron has already.
Or he has the sessions in Spanish.
it can be. Haven't talked with Aaron about it yet, but it can be. There's two approaches. You would use the district translator or interpreter, and we would work together in a separate session just for Spanish. Those are as lively as any session. And we take the notes and the interpreter tells us what they say and vice versa. I'm not bilingual. I wished I was. The other one is these devices. I don't know if you guys have them in the district. but
We have those.
Headphones.
Yeah.
That's another way where they just go to a regular, whatever session they want to go to. And then they work with the interpreter to make sure they have the headphones, and the interpreter sits at the back of the room and interprets for them as well. So a couple different approaches.
So I know we have, many of the sessions are kind of general, whoever would like to come. Can we identify at least one of
Sure.
those that is, because we need the person there, right? Whoever's.
Yeah, I mean, once
So-
we kind of chat about what is gonna be the best way to do that, but,
We're open
the
to.
person in my mind, of course, works as a teacher during the day, so
It
we're
would,
gonna have to kind of figure that out, but
it would probably have to be one of the evening
Yeah.
sessions or a Saturday morning session, whatever we'll talk about it.
yeah, we can talk about it and see what options we have, but we do have that. Like the headphone system too, I don't know where it is right this second, but we do have that too.
That's used in quite a bit of our sessions, throughout our community events.
Yeah.
We use that.
Not a problem.
I think it's scheduling our person. is gonna
Yeah,
be more of
if it's reliant
scheduling
on the
our person.
interpreter.
Yeah.
So we may need to have a quick conversation, like, are you available at any of these at any time? So-
Yeah. Mhm.
And then make sure that she can be.
And we have a couple people that we
Yeah.
can look
Okay.
at, so.
Any other questions?
On the timeline, it's highlighted saying February 9th, which obviously that's not happening. Is the goal to do like tomorrow for those things? If we can get it all.
Depends on our action items, yeah.
But.
If we could pull
that
it
what
off.
Cause obviously it's not the 9th, so we have to
Yeah.
choose
Yeah,
a different
that'll-
day,
Right,
but
that'll need to be changed to the 10th, those 2 days.
Yeah.
I'll
I'll go through all the documents and update them after tonight to make sure that they reflect whatever the board wants, but I would say both the job posting and the survey. Sooner is always better, ASAP, and I know in small districts, you have one person. So I want to be really sensitive to Aaron's work. To the degree that we have to be, because it is hard. I mean, it's not like.
What does tomorrow look like?
I know, well, that was part of what I was trying to say is like, I think.
Yeah.
I think once Brian and I have our meeting tomorrow morning, we've done a lot of things already in the background. I've already done the majority of the website, like I've already
We
done
could do
some
the
of it.
12.
But it's all like, it's probably only like halfway done, and then whatever comes from here, then I still need to do, so.
Yeah.
Just sort of dependent on what you guys are, the timeline you're thinking, could I do it tomorrow? Probably. And if you want it, then I will make it happen.
There's kind of three major things that need to go out as soon as Aaron has the time to push them out is. Well, not the job description, but that has to be on the website as well. But there are the focus group schedules and kind of advertising that as well. That can come a little bit later, but the survey, if we can get that out, so it's a lot. Nobody will say they didn't have an opportunity to participate.
I think if we can change that date of the 9th to the 11th, Brian,
Okay.
for both of those. And we'll get, if we get out on the 11th, we will, knowing that we have one person that's working on all of this. But that at least gives us, I'd rather go that direction than the other way, like we're splattering it out and no one knew it was coming. So if we can just change that maybe.
Are you talking about the survey?
Yeah, so there's post position on HYA. Or change it to the 11th. I mean, it depends on how our action items go, but, and the survey.
Yeah, so the HYA, while it's dependent on what you guys decide, the HYA posting could actually, what is today?
That's the 10th,
The 10th?
So they don't have to be simultaneous.
right?
So like we can put it up on the HYAs and get that link all set up and everything. That could happen tomorrow. I'm gonna send it in tonight to the person who does that. So that could all be done. And then you guys take that same thing and of course we'll get it to CASB. That'll happen in the next day or so. And your HR department can do that kind of thing in the next day or so. So it doesn't have to all happen at once.
At the same time, yeah.
So we'll do the HYA stuff tomorrow as soon as Danielle has the chance to do it. And then the rest of it can come on the 11th is fine. That works. for you?
Tomorrow is the 11th.
Is tomorrow the 11th? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm
That's
losing
okay,
track-
I think we're all, tomorrow
losing-
is the 11th, so.
Losing track of time.
It will.
Okay, great. So the 11th is great.
Perfect. And that'll help us, or take out the 2 yellows. Anything else? Any other questions?
Let me ask Dave. Dave, can you hear us? Have I missed anything? We okay?
Nope, you're covering it pretty well. The only thing I would have added was in the conversation earlier with the HR director about the clearances. But I think it's really important to think about who your finalist or finalists might be. There have been several scandals in the past year where, frankly, candidates, very compelling candidates, actually were seated as superintendents in other states, and then they lied and turned out they weren't even citizens of the United States. Well, there was one case in particular. So it just when we get to that point, we'll have to think hard about the background screening. But otherwise, I think you guys are, you folks are right on track.
Other comments? All right, moving on to agenda item 3, action items. 3.1, the Board of Education may authorize HYA to advertise a superintendent job posting. Is there a motion?
I move the Board of Education authorize HYA to advertise the superintendent job posting through the HYA base package, CASB and CASE.
I second.
We'll bring up to board comments, discussion.
I think just for clarity, that's what we're including, we are not including job.
Not including
Correct.
B, right?
Yep.
Any other comments? All right, Aaron, please conduct a board roll call.
Director Furry,
Aye.
Director Kendall,
Aye.
Director Shockett,
Aye.
Director Widorski,
Aye.
Director Wiss.
Aye.
Ayes carry the vote, the motion passes. Moving on to agenda item 3.2, the Board of Education may approve the superintendent job posting. Is there a motion?
I move the Board of Education approve the superintendent job posting as presented in draft form.
I second.
Any board discussion? Again, I just want to say, I think you guys did a great job capturing our community and our district and what we're really working on, so I appreciate that, Brian.
And the input you guys provided was really helpful, so thank you.
Any other board comments? Aaron, please conduct a board roll call.
Director Furry,
Aye.
Director Kendall,
Aye.
Director Shockett,
Aye.
Director Widerski,
Aye.
Director Wiss.
Aye.
I carry the vote, the motion passes. Moving on to agenda item 3.3, the Board of Education may approve the superintendent search schedule. Is there a motion?
I move the Board of Education approve the superintendent search schedule as presented in the portal.
I second.
Any other board comments? No? No, all right. Aaron, please conduct a board roll call.
Director Furry,
Aye.
Director Kendall,
Aye.
Director Shockett,
Aye.
Director Widerski,
Aye.
Director Wiss.
Aye.
I carry the vote, the motion passes. Moving on to agenda item 4, upcoming meetings. The next board's regular meeting is February 23rd at 2026 at 5:15 PM at Town Hall. And moving on to agenda item 5, adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
I second.
All right, we're adjourned, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for attending.